In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do some basic editing to the default WordPress themes, the 2010 theme and 2011 theme. In the past, I've had people ask me how I created this header here in the 2010 theme and removed some of the default elements. If you look at this on the default 2010 theme, here's how it would look. I just uploaded my image, my header image here, and then by default the site title and description is up here, and it just makes the header area a lot taller than most people want, or at least taller than I want. It seems that WordPress has started with the 2010 2011 making gigantic headers for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm not a designer, but I don't like them very much. And even if we go and look at the 2011, the headers have even gotten bigger in the 2011 theme. Take a look here now. Now it's even taller and even more room at the top. This just doesn't appeal to me. I don't like all this white space up here at the top just for a couple of elements. And the height of the header is even increased in 2011. So what I want to do in this tutorial is just show you some basic editing techniques to go into the 2010 or 2011 theme and edit down the size of that header some. So first off, I'll show you how I did the 2010 theme to go from this to this. And notice how all of this white space here, the title and the description, and all of this white space is removed. This line, default line at the top, has been removed. And then I also decreased some of the padding down here between the horizontal navigation and the first post and the right sidebar. If you look here and here, you'll see that the padding here is a bit smaller. So I'll just show you how I did this, and then I'll go through and actually make the changes to the 2011 theme, show you how you can do something similar in that theme. If we look at this theme here, the first thing you want to do when you edit themes in WordPress these days is create a child theme. So we'll go ahead and look at this. This is on Eldoom here, and then I have a duplicate site, Eldoom1. For the 2010, I'm just going to show you how I did it, and then we'll work through doing the same kind of thing in 2011. 2010, here I'm in my Eldoom site, WP content, my themes folder. Notice I have my 2010 normal theme here, default theme, and then I have a 2010 child theme. In the 2010 child theme, I just have the style CSS. Now I made a couple changes in the loop here. It's not important, it doesn't impact anything on the header, but the changes that I made is in the style CSS, and I'll show you how to make a child theme as I go through this in 2011. But if we open this style CSS here and look at the changes that I made, I essentially went into the header and reduced some of the padding, went to the image, made changes to the width and so forth. Just to see how these changes impact this default, we'll just go through and apply them in Firebug to let you see what they would look like. So for example, let's get Firebug here. One of the first changes I made was to the header padding and made it at 10, set it at 10 pixels. So if we go here in Firebug and we look at the header here, and then we look at padding, by default it's set to 30 pixels. Okay, and that's what creates that padding here above the title. So if you look here, I set it down to 10 in my child. If I just do it here, you can see how it impacts that. It just collapses up that padding there. So you could go to 10. If I exaggerate and go to 70, you can see what I'm talking about there. So the default was 30, I made it 10 in the child theme. That took care of that part of it. If you go down to the branding image, the top border I set to 0, and that's this border here. So if you look in the default theme, branding image, notice that it has the 4 pixel width black border running across there. And you can see here in my child theme, I just took that top border width and set it to 0 pixels. And by doing that, then it just makes it disappear. So if you look here, when you do that, top border width, I'll go from 4 to 0. Notice that border just disappeared. So set it back to 4, there it is. If I'd set it to 8, obviously it makes it thicker. Sort of the way that works. So 0 makes that go away. Okay, now let's look, I'll show you main in a second, but let's look at the site description and the site title. Notice I went to both of those and set the top margins on both of them at minus 1,000 pixels, and that just takes them off the screen so they're not going to be seen anywhere. So if we were to go to site title here and set the margin top from 0 that it's set to minus pixel, notice it just disappears, just pushes it completely off the page. Nobody's ever going to be able to see it. So it takes care of that, and then I can do the same thing for site description. So find the site description, go in and set the top margin from 15 to minus 1,000 or 1,015 or whatever. So it takes both those things away, and now your header image collapses up. So now we're getting closer to looking like what this looks like. Okay. All I have to do then is go and set the background to black, which I can do in the admin interface, and now I pretty much have here the same thing that I have here. You will see a couple of other slight differences though. Here again we have that gap, the padding here, it's a little bit taller, and there's also a default black line across the top of any sticky post. Why? I don't know. I don't really like it, but if you noticed here, I took the black line off the sticky post, and I took the different color background off the sticky post as well. And then I also collapsed up the padding here a bit. So if you look in here, this is essentially how I did that. Under Home Sticky, I took the border top width, set it at 0 pixels, and then the background color for a sticky I set to be white like all other background colors. And then the main 20 pixel here, that took care of this gap here. So for example, if I were to come here and go find that and go up to main, they have padding at 40 by default. Notice what happens if I go down 20. It just collapses the padding here between your first post, your right sidebar, and the horizontal nav. So I like that to be there. 10, that's a little bit too tight. 20 is good. Notice here again 70, you can sort of see how that works. And then you can go in and the other elements that I changed again on the sticky. There's Home Sticky. I took the background color instead of that and just changed it to black, or white, excuse me, to make it the same color as the rest, and then took that border off, that top border. If you notice here, this here that's just on a sticky, I took it off by taking the border top width and setting it at 0 pixels. Border top width instead of the 4, 0, and that takes that off. So now this site here with the default theme looks the same as this one. So all you have to do is make those changes in a child theme and then select your child theme. Now I'll show you how to do the child theme here in just a second as I go through trying to replicate the same thing in the new 2011 theme. If I wanted to upgrade to 2011, then how would I go about trying to replicate these same kinds of things? What I'll do, I'm just going to refresh here and eliminate all those changes that I just made. We'll go back and actually select the 2011 default theme. So the 2011 is a bit different now. There's even more room at the top. The image now is scrolling full width, and they've even made the default image wider. So what I want to do with this 2011 theme, try to accomplish, is I want to try to do the same thing as I did here pretty much. I want to remove all that stuff from the top and get the image to be up here, just get this stuff gone. And then I want to reduce the height of this image some. The height of this image is, if we go to the header here, you'll see by default is 288 pixels high. I think the last 2010 theme, the height was 190 something. Let's see, let's just take a glance. I can't remember. 2010 default theme and header, yeah, it was 198 pixels. So they increase the height of the image by almost 100 pixels, it looks like, in the 2011. Which again I don't like. I think it just takes up way too much room on the home page. Why would you want to have that much space just being your header? So we're going to remove all this white space, reduce the height of the image. Let's see how to do that. So let's start by making a child theme. So now we will work in LDoom 1 on the 2011 theme and try to get it similar to this. So let's go into LDoom 1. I'm going to create a 2011 child theme. So I'll just come here into my themes folder and I'm going to create a 2011 child. And then the only thing that you really need to have in a child theme is your CSS, copy of your style CSS. So I'm going to go to my default 2011 and just get the style CSS. I'll copy it and then I'll put that in my 2011 child. And then I'm going to open it in Edit Plus and put in this what needs to be in a style CSS for a child theme. Let me close some of these other tabs here so I don't get confused. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take out everything below this commented area at the top. And the basic concept here for a child theme is that you only put the code in here that you want to change. And so what happens is when the theme is rendered, WordPress first looks to anything in your child theme and that trumps anything that's in the standard theme. So we're going to go 2011. I can leave all of this at the top, but the two other things that I need here in a child theme is one, the template. And the template is going to be based on 2011. So what this is doing is telling WordPress that the base theme for this child theme is the 2011 theme. And then I need to import the style sheet from that 2011 theme as the base style sheet. So just to show you what it looks like here. Here you have an import rule, so I'm just going to import the base. I'm going to copy this just to save myself from typing it again. And here I need to have, we're going to import 20. So if I save that, now I have everything I need for a 2011 child theme. I have a directory that has a style sheet in it. The style sheet simply says that this is based on 2011. It's importing that 2011 style CSS, and that's it. So if I don't do anything else, I could go now back to my WP admin, and I should have a 2011 child theme there now. So there's 2010 child, 2011. 2011. Oh, okay. Well, one other thing I forgot to do. There's the 2011 child, but I didn't rename it, so it's still called 2011. One other thing that you will want to do to help you distinguish these is in your child theme style CSS is the name of it here. Name it child or something so that you'll know what it is. Now you could take out a lot of this other stuff if you want. The only thing you really need in here is the template, the theme name, and this import rule, but I'll leave all the other stuff. But this theme name is what's going to show up in your admin area. So I changed that to 2011 child. So now if I refresh, I see there's my 2011 child theme. So now I'm going to select the 2011 child theme. So right now the 2011 child theme looks just like the 2011 theme because we've made no changes to it. So now let's start making our changes. First thing let's do is get rid of this space here. Now there's been a change in 2011 that allows us to get rid of the title, the description, all with one code change. So let's go to Firebug again. And I use Firebug a lot just because I can look at the changes here in my browser, see that they work, and then copy them and put them in my style sheet. So we'll do this and come up, and now there's this branding H group set here. So we could come here, and instead of having to individually take out the title and the description, I can go to the H branding group and go top margin and set it to minus 1,000 pixels, for example, and it's all gone. But you see, if I do that, then it also takes out the image as well, because that's part of that group, it seems. So instead of 1,000, I need to see what the right setting there. I did a little bit of practice here, and it looks like about 180 minus 180 pixels is about right. Notice if I set that margin top for the H branding group, or for the branding H group, at minus 180 pixels, I still have my image, I still have a little black at the top, but all of the white space is gone. And you can play around with this here. If you did 190, for example, you can see it's higher. If you do 150, see, you still get some of the white at the top there. So I'm going to go back to about 180, and that's where I'm going to leave it. So I want that H branding group. I'm just going to copy that. One of the neat things about Firebug is that you can experiment and then copy the code from Firebug, refresh so that your changes are gone, and then go to your CSS, paste that code in, and the only thing that I really need to keep there is that negative 180. There's no reason for me to keep the other settings because I'm not changing them. Okay, so now there's the minus 180 that I'm pasting in my 2011 child. And I come back here now, and I should be able to refresh and see that that's taken place. And if I look over here, then I actually see the override there. There's the minus 180, and you can see it's overriding the default here. So there's the first change. Now what it didn't take out was this search box, so it's still sitting on top of my image. So what I've done on my other site is I removed the search field at the top, and I just put a search in the right sidebar. So that's what I want to do here as well. I want to get rid of that. So to find that, I'll just use Firebug again, come here, and that's the branding S. So I want to do that for the branding search. I'll put that over in my style sheet, and I already know what I want to do here, so I don't need to try it out in Firebug. I know that I want to display none on that and close it. Save, and then come back out and refresh, and the search box now should be gone from my header. So now I have all the stuff from the top gone. I have my header setting here. That's looking a bit better to me than all of the padding and everything at the top, or all that white space at the top. So now I want to get my custom image in here, but I don't want the image that I use to be this 280 or so pixels high. I don't want it to be that tall. But let's take a look at what happens if I just try to go in here and change this the way this is. If I go to Site Admin, Appearance, Header, and if I try to upload a header now, it's looking for an image that's 1,000 pixels wide by 288 pixels high. Now my default image that I used over here, I'm just going to save this off. I've already got it there. I'll just save over the top, make sure it's the right one. I'll save it to my desktop, and that image is 940 by 198, which is what the sizes are for the 2010 theme. So if I just try to upload this image, let's just see what happens here. If I try to go ahead and use that and upload to my 2011 theme, what it's going to do is require me to crop it. Okay, so I can't really crop it any way that's going to make it look good on my site with the size that it is. So I either need to go in and resize my image to make it fit right, or if I crop it, just take a look here, obviously that's not going to be what I want. It stretches it, makes it bigger, fills it in. I don't get the whole thing, so that's not going to work. So what I want to do is change the header size here to be not as tall. I'll keep the 1000 pixels in width, but I don't want it to be as tall. So to do that, I can't make the change in my style CSS. If we look here in Firebug, just to show you, and I look at my header, notice the height is set to auto and the width is set to 100%. So they're not set to any set values. So the actual height and width are being defined somewhere else. I have to go and find where that is. And that happens to be in the functions PHP file in your theme. So let's go into my theme here, into my 2011 base theme, and the functions PHP here. That's where the height and width of that header image is defined. Now again, I don't want to edit that here in functions PHP in my 2011, because the next time I update that theme, then it's going to be overwritten. So I want to put that in my child theme. So I'm going to copy it, put a copy of it down in my child theme, and I'm going to open it there. And I want to take everything out except for the area that defines the actual image height and width, which here is down here where it's the height and width of your custom header. So I'm going to take all of this stuff out, all of this here out, and there seems to be no closing PHP tag in this file, so I'm going to leave it that way. I'm not sure why that is, but I'm going to leave it anyway. So the only thing I want in this functions PHP that's in my child theme is just the code that I changed, just like anything else. So here I'm going to leave the width at 1000 pixels since it's a full width, but I'm going to change the height, and I want the height, I'm going to let the height match the image that I already have made, which was 198. We're going to make the image height 198 pixels. Now you set this height to be whatever you want. If you want your image to be 100 pixels high, whatever, this is where you set it in your functions PHP. So I'm going to save that, and then go back to my site, and now I should be able to go to my header and my child theme, and now I am going to upload an image 1000 by 198 here. It changes here as well. So now I browse, I find my image, upload it, and publish. And there it is. Okay, so now, this doesn't look all that great. I'd probably work on this a bit more now. With the change and the black sort of horizontal bar, I'm not sure that I like the black background and the black horizontal bar. And by the way, the black background is here. You don't have to do any code changes. You just come here, change the background color in the admin area. So while we're here, I may just clear that just to show you. Okay, so there. Now that looks a lot better, in my opinion, than the default 2011 with all the stuff at the top. If you look here, it's closer to what I have here as well. So that's just some basic editing to the 2011, and to resize your header area if you want to do that. And I might make another video and go into some other editing and so forth. But hopefully this gets you started on being able to resize your header, gives you a few tips on how to set up a child theme and start editing your child theme.